Why do some people love to be scared? It's a question that's baffled many, and yet there's something uniquely captivating about the thrill of fear. It's like a high-stakes roller coaster ride, a journey into the unknown, where every twist and turn is a surprise waiting to leap out at you. You see, when we watch horror movies, we're not just passive spectators, we're active participants, willingly immersing ourselves in these terrifying scenarios. We invite fear into our living rooms, into our minds, and we revel in it. It's a strange kind of pleasure, isn't it? But why? What's the appeal? Well, let's start with the adrenaline rush. When we're scared, our bodies respond as though we're facing a real physical threat. Our heart rate increases, our palms sweat, and our muscles tense. It's a primal, instinctual reaction, and it's exhilarating. It's like a shot of energy, a jolt to our systems that makes us feel alive. Then there's the excitement of the unknown. Fear, by its very nature, is unpredictable. It's the anticipation, the suspense of not knowing what's lurking around the corner. It's the dread of the unseen, the unease of the unanticipated that keeps us on the edge of our seats, our eyes glued to the screen. And yet, we're safe. We're in a controlled environment, a space where we can explore our fears without any real consequences. We can confront the monsters under our bed, the ghosts in our closet, and the demons in our minds. We can face our fears, experience them, and then walk away unscathed. In this way, horror movies offer us a unique opportunity. They allow us to delve into the darker corners of our psyche, to confront the things that scare us, and to come out the other side stronger and more resilient. It's this combination of adrenaline, suspense, and safety that makes the thrill of fear so enticing. It's a paradox, a contradiction, a dance with danger from the comfort of our couch. And that, my friends, is the allure of horror movies. So, the thrill of fear, it seems, is quite a significant factor in our attraction to horror movies. But what's going on in our brains when we watch these terrifying films? At a primal level, our brains are wired for survival. When we encounter something scary, the amygdala, an almond-shaped structure in our brain, triggers the fight-or-flight response. This response prepares our body to either confront the threat or run away from it. It's a surge of adrenaline, quickening our heartbeat and sharpening our senses to make us more alert. But why do we get this response when we know logically that the horror on the screen isn't real? That's because our brains often can't distinguish between real threats and imagined ones. So, when that masked killer jumps out from the shadows, our amygdala reacts just as if the danger were real. But there's more to it. During these moments of intense fear, our brain also releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a major role in how we feel pleasure. Some people are more prone to this dopamine release in response to fear or excitement, which is why they enjoy thrill-seeking activities like watching horror films. Then, there's the sense of relief following a scare. When a scene is building tension, our body is in a heightened state of stress. Once the scare happens and then passes, we experience a relief that can be quite pleasurable. It's a catharsis that allows us to purge pent-up emotions. Moreover, horror movies allow us to confront our fears in a controlled environment. They serve as a kind of psychological sandbox, where we can explore our deepest fears and darkest thoughts without any real-world consequences. This can be a form of escapism, or even a way to confront and process real-world anxieties. So while our brains might be tricked into thinking we're in danger, they also know that we're actually safe. This combination of fear and safety allows us to enjoy the thrill without the risk. Thus, horror movies serve as a playground for our brains, allowing us to experience fear and relief in a controlled environment. Could there be a social reason why we love horror movies? Absolutely. Fear, as it turns out, is not just a solitary experience. It's a shared emotion, a collective shudder that sends ripples through a group of people. When we huddle together in a darkened theater or gather around a television screen, the fear we feel is amplified, intensified. It's like a communal heartbeat, a pulse that we all share. And it's this shared experience that can create a bond between us. Think about it. When you watch a horror movie with friends, you're not just watching a movie. You're embarking on a journey together, a journey through the darkest corners of human imagination. Every jump scare, every chilling moment, every scream is a shared experience, and it's these shared experiences that can bring us closer together. But it's not just about the shared experience, it's also about the sense of belonging that comes from being part of a community of horror fans. This community is a safe space for people to express their love for the macabre, to delve into the darkness without fear of judgment. In this community, fear is not something to be shamed or hidden away. It's something to be celebrated, something to be explored. This sense of belonging can be incredibly powerful. It can make us feel accepted, understood, it can make us feel less alone. And isn't that what we all long for? To be accepted, to be understood, to be part of something bigger than ourselves? So yes, there is a social aspect to our love for horror movies. It's about more than just the thrill of fear. It's about the bonds we form, the community we become a part of. It's about the shared experience of fear, the collective shudder that brings us closer together. So, the shared experience of fear can bring us closer together and create a sense of community. But what about the darker side of horror? Why are we drawn to the macabre? It's a question that often baffles those who shy away from the genre. Yet there is no denying the potent allure of the macabre. The gruesome, the grotesque, the supernatural. These elements captivate us, drawing us into a world that is far removed from our everyday experiences. Our fascination with death and the supernatural is not a new phenomenon. From ancient folklore to modern-day horror films, these themes have always been a part of our collective consciousness. In a way, horror movies serve as a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and anxieties. But why are we drawn to such terrifying topics? One reason is that these movies provide a safe space to explore the forbidden and the taboo. They allow us to confront our fears head-on, without the real-world consequences. We can grapple with the idea of death, the unknown, and the supernatural, all from the relative safety of our living rooms. Moreover, the macabre offers a form of escapism. It's a departure from the mundane, a journey into the unknown. It's the thrill of being scared, the adrenaline rush, the heart-pounding suspense. It's the catharsis that comes from surviving a terrifying ordeal, even if it's only on the screen. There's also a certain beauty in the macabre. The intricate details of a well-crafted horror film can be mesmerizing. The chilling soundtracks, the eerie settings, the chilling performances, they all work together to create a hauntingly beautiful spectacle. It's a dance with the dark side, a flirtation with fear. It's the exploration of the deepest corners of our psyche, the shadows we often prefer to ignore. Horror movies offer us a chance to face these shadows, to understand them, and perhaps even to embrace them. In the end, it seems our fascination with the macabre is another reason why we love horror movies. They allow us to explore the darker aspects of our humanity, to confront our fears, and to experience the thrill of the unknown. And that, in itself, is a form of catharsis. So, why do we love being scared? It's a question that might seem baffling to some, and perfectly logical to others. Over the past several minutes, we've dived into the fascinating world of horror and fear, exploring the various reasons why people are drawn to these intense experiences. We started with the thrill of fear, the adrenaline rush that comes with being scared. It's an ancient survival mechanism, a burst of energy that prepares us for fight or flight. In the safety of a movie theater or our own living room, this physiological response can be incredibly exhilarating. A roller coaster ride of emotions that allows us to experience danger without any real risk. We then delved into the psychology behind fear. The human mind is a complex and fascinating entity, and our reactions to fear are just as intricate. We discussed how horror movies can tap into our deepest, darkest fears and anxieties, providing a safe outlet for us to confront and process these emotions. It's a form of catharsis, a release of pent-up emotional tension. Our discussion also touched on the social aspect of fear. Horror movies are often a communal experience, something to be shared with friends and family. They bring us together, creating a sense of camaraderie as we huddle together in the dark, jumping at the same scares, laughing nervously at the same tense moments. It's a bonding experience, a shared journey through fear. And finally, we explored the appeal of the macabre, the fascination with the darker side of life. Horror movies give us a glimpse into the unknown, the mysterious, the eerie, and uncanny. They challenge our perceptions of reality, pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible. Whether it's the thrill, the psychological response, the social aspect, or the fascination with the macabre, it seems there are plenty of reasons why we love horror movies. So, next time you find yourself reaching for the remote to watch a scary movie, remember, you're not alone in your love of